On July the 8th, I was going for a picnic with my daughter, who was only 3 at the time, my sister and my nephew, who was only 18 months. Unfortunately, an elderly gentleman was racing out of a car space, lost control of his vehicle and collided with us while we were sitting down. The next thing I can remember is the car's actually on top of me and I'm getting dragged through the field underneath the vehicle. The car carried on going for about 100 metres. Eventually the car did stop. I can just remember thinking, if he doesn't move soon, I'm not going to make it, because I physically couldn't breathe. I can remember panicking physically because I couldn't breathe more than anything at that point in time. As I was just trying, there was just no air getting in at all. As the vehicle moved off me, it reversed back over me the other way. And at that point, my sister and my daughter came over, and that's when I knew my daughter had been injured as well. There was a lot of blood involved coming from her face and her head, so I knew she was injured then, obviously. I couldn't stand up, I couldn't breathe properly, I couldn't talk properly, so I knew I was very seriously injured at that time. I can remember the North West Air Ambulance charity arriving. 2 helicopters come very similar time together. Because of the injuries to Lily, one to take Lily to a hospital and one to take myself to a different hospital. I can remember there was quite a senior doctor there to assess my injuries. They put me in a neck brace, they helped stabilise my hip, and due to my breathing, they performed a chest drain just to remove some of the air and blood from the chest cavity. And then I could breathe a lot easier then. Lily got taken to Alder Hospital, which is a specialised children's hospital, and I got taken to Aintree, just so we were both local to each other then.
The emotion hit when I walked through the doors of the ward at Alder and saw Lily sort of all bandages and hooked up to all these machines with pipes and tubes coming out of it. Looking back at that day, it was, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst day of my life. Something that I wouldn't wish on anybody to have to go through that, and hopefully something that we'll never experience again.
I was in hospital for around 6 months. The injuries I sustained were quite severe. I had a complex pelvic fracture, a dislocated hip, several broken ribs on both sides, a sternum fracture and a fractured shoulder, blood clot on my lung, a lacerated liver. So there was quite a few medical concerns there. I'll never fully recover from my injuries. I've got spinal cord damage, which has resulted in sensation loss on my left leg and foot drop, which was something that I'll never repair. Fortunately with Lily, there was no lasting medical concerns. The vehicle did actually travel over my daughter, but luckily with her only being 3 at the time, it didn't cause no permanent damage or permanent injuries. It was just facial and soft tissue injuries, luckily. The North West Air Ambulance that day no doubt saved my life. If I had to have gone on to a land ambulance all the way to Liverpool from where the accident happened, I don't know what position I would have been in regarding the internal bleedings and how my chest was. They definitely, without a doubt, saved my life that day. Just a massive thank you. We can never repay them enough. The North West Air Ambulance charity, they get no government funding, they get no NHS help at all. Without donations, they wouldn't be around, and for that reason, I don't know if I'd be here as well without their help and support. So fundraising to help these charities is a massive thing.
The North West Air Ambulance charity, I'm eternally grateful to what they did. 2 crews, 2 helicopters airlifted Emma and Lily to hospital and potentially saved their lives, got them straight away to the places where they needed to be for that treatment. So without them, I don't know what my life would be like today.
Thank you to the charity for helping me and my mummy.